Hi, this is Tim of the Watchbox at Dubai Watch Week 2021 with the new Chopard Alpine Eagle limited edition. This is the Cadence 8 Hz. Now, the original Alpine Eagle, based on the 1980 St. Moritz, arrived back in 2019. That watch was a standard 4 Hz beat rate in lucent stainless steel. Now, this watch is an upgrade aesthetically and technically. We start with a lovely techno-industrial monotone. Starting from the center of the dial, which resembles the iris of an eagle, hence the name, we have this lovely, deeply grooved grain, but it's not a conventional sunburst. It has more depth to it. It's a combination of varnishing, galvanizing, and stamping, and it has a wonderful spiral to the graining. And you can see that the dial's been cleaned up compared to the original. We've lost the Roman numerals at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. We still have the 12, but the dial's a bit more spare. Now, if you look closely, you can see it says 8 Hz chronometer. That means the watch is still a COSC chronometer, but it now operates at a colossal 57,600 vibrations per hour, a technology Chopard debuted back in 2012, and you can see the high frequency symbol down at the base of the dial. Now, the watch does have hacking seconds and a quick set date. It is well loomed, and it's over 100 meters water resistant, so this is a true sports watch. You can see there's a lot of nuance to the case that gets lost in the online photos. There's handsome differential finish, both polish and satin. You can see that there's a wonderful contrast between the polishing of the bezel bolts and the vertical satination of the bezel, and then the outer edge of the bezel features both a conical slant and a vertical portion with polish. We have a screw-down crown. You have that little insignia, a compass rose emblem that is actually sitting inside a lovely grained or sandblasted surfacing. So you can see that the symbol is raised, relieved, and polished, and the interior is sandblasted, and that's just the crown. Now, the nice thing about grade 5 titanium is that it is much harder than steel, but also lighter, so you get the best of both worlds. The bracelet is an exceptional piece. You can see the interlock of the links in profile, which makes for nice tight tolerances, so there's no daylight showing between the links. Fully integrated, of course, it's very much of the modern sensibility of style, even though it draws on design from 1980. You can see every individual link on both sides of the bracelet is fully removable, so you're gonna get the right size. It's gonna fit properly. There is a snap-shut, friction-fit, double deploying clasp. You can see it's a sequential close. One side closes before the other, and that the chassis of the clasp is actually curved. So under the wrist, it will trace the arc of the wrist. It doesn't fight the natural curvature of your forearm. Now, let's take a quick look at the case back, because one of the biggest pieces of news for this model was the arrival of a series production high-frequency movement from Chopard. Now, previously they had issued this movement in watches whose style was a bit more controversial, and then generally only in small volumes. Now, this is a 250-piece limited edition, which is large by the standards of the high-frequency escapement. So lots to love, but no compromise. The watch still has the same water resistance. Let me bring in my polishing cloth to denude this case back of my fingerprints. You still get the chronometer certification. You still get the 60-hour power reserve. So one of the main pitfalls of a high-frequency movement is that you lose power reserve. That's not the case here. That's achieved by making the balance wheel smaller and also using a fully unlubricated full silicon escapement, which, according to no less an authority than Carl Friedrich Schäuble, is a 5-year service interval or even 7-year, so this watch will need less maintenance, which is a wonderful refinement in an era when service is, frankly, probably the least enjoyable part of luxury watch ownership. Now, you can see a tungsten rotor is used, and there's an unconventional satin spiral graining across the bridges that actually matches the curvature of the graining on the dial. So it is both a technically audacious movement and a very good-looking movement. Of course, Chopard making the movement as well as the remainder of the watch. They are an integrated manufacturer. This is the Chopard Alpine Eagle Cadence High Frequency at Dubai Watch Week 2021.